Congratulations, TeraWulf. I am absolutely over the moon excited, as I'm sure you are and many TeraWulf shareholders are, with respect to the announcement that was made. Listen, uh, there are a lot of skeptics out there who perhaps saw the Core 42 deal and couldn't quite make sense of whether or not that was a validation of the Lake Mariner site, because perhaps to a North American audience, the name Core 42 doesn't necessarily ring as many bells. Now, certainly, if you do a little bit of digging, you realize Core 42 is a top 1% name, right? In fact, one could even argue it's a top 1% of the 1% type of name. But I'll tell you something, I think we've all heard of the name Google. And I think for those of us who have spent even 5 minutes studying the HPC AI landscape, the name Fluidstack certainly rings a lot of bells. So if this is not validation, then I don't know what it'll take. So, I'll tell you, TeraWulf, this is almost, I'm at a loss for words to describe what a remarkable, incredible, just really transformative transaction this is. Congratulations. I wish nothing but the best for TeraWulf and for all TeraWulf shareholders, all right? I mean, Lake Mariner is a beautiful, beautiful facility. I've never been there in person. I've studied it very carefully through satellite imagery as well as through some of the imagery that TeraWulf, right, has put out there. Hey, this is just fantastic. It is truly fantastic. Now, for those of us, right, who are also proponents of the pivot that Bitfarms is making, and we believe that, hey, you know what, we want to have faith that there can be a really great deal to be had for Panther Creek. Well, I'll tell you what, the sooner TeraWulf finds itself with no more room to spare at Lake Mariner, I think that potentially opens up a little bit of a door for Bitfarms to potentially talk to some of these partners and be like, hey, if you want something right now, why don't we go ahead and put a term sheet together and make a decision? This is kind of what I alluded to yesterday. Google and Fluidstack, they made a decision, right? It wasn't, let's do 10 more months of deliberations. It's like, hey, we need to make a decision. Lake Mariner is a fantastic world-class site. What is left to really debate beyond maybe some of the numbers and some of the timetables and, a couple of the details here and there, but that shouldn't take another 10 to 15 to 20 to 50 months, right? So it's great to see that decisions are being made in this space. It's great to see that TeraWulf is executing. It's great to see that here we have, I think, aside from Core Scientific, here now we have TeraWulf really, really validating this idea that, you can be a Bitcoin mining company that is now transitioning successfully into HPC AI, right? Everybody keeps saying, well, Core Scientific, that was a unique one-off type deal. Okay, great. Well, TeraWulf isn't in that category. TeraWulf has had to really kind of earn its place at the table. It has now two customers, Core 42 and Fluidstack, which of course is backed by Google. I mean, this is just so amazing. It is truly amazing. So congratulations, TeraWulf. And, for those in the Bitfarms camp who are like, hey, is Bitfarms going to make an announcement sometime? As, the CEO of Bitfarms, Mr. Ben Gagnon, pointed out in the investor presentation yesterday, hey, they can do a deal for Panther Creek right now. It's just a matter of some of these potential partners reaching a point of making a decision, right? So, hey, decisions are being made. I think the more decisions that get made, it's going to kind of accelerate, hopefully, the decision-making process, right? The platoon of attorneys have to be told, listen, do your due diligence in the next month now, because we can't let this drag on to 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, because at some point, right, the finite capacity that's out there is going to be accounted for. So, right, hey, there's this push now. Let's make decisions. Let's lock in space, right, at preeminent data center locations, of which Lake Mariner is unquestionably one of those sites. One could argue that the Cayuga site, right, that TeraWulf also manages or is in the process of kind of further managing, is also a first-class site. I think Panther Creek is certainly a first-class site. And while granted, it's still in a very preliminary stage, I do think that with the right execution, you have the opportunity for Panther Creek to one day, hopefully not too far into the future, be the subject of a news release, this time by Bitfarms, saying, hey, we'd like to announce a deal for fill in the blank number of megawatts at Panther Creek under terms that are both favorable to the prospective customer, who at that point would be a customer, and right favorable to Bitfarms and its shareholders. This is truly fantastic. Today, the spotlight is rightfully on TeraWulf. Congratulations, TeraWulf.